What's going on, everyone? It is the Digital Cypha Podcast coming at you with another day of gaming news, just things we play, as far as games is concerned, and maybe some industry stuff, that we've come to hear throughout the week. I'm joined by my boys, Dio Zales and the Don CJG. What is going on, guys? How you guys are doing?
Hello, I am
Hey,
indeed a boy.
No confusion there.
One at a time, one at a time.
Clear that
my
one up,
friends.
you know what I mean?
Yes. It's been a crazy week for some. It's been a slow week for others. But Don CJG, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing the sleeping game, you guys.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm gonna sleep a lot, but when I have been awake in those few hours of consciousness, I've been playing a little game what I predicted would come out on November 15th. Halo Infinite Multiplayer.
Okay.
True.
Yeah, I did say it would come out,
You did?
and here we are.
Okay.
I'm still on 100% record.
Okay, we'll move over from Don CJG and his Dio, how you been?
Oh, been great. Can't complain about much. Been gaming a lot more than usual, actually. I beat Final Fantasy 15 this week. Was having a lot more fun with that than I originally gave it credit for. Grim Dawn just finally came out on Xbox, and that it's running smooth. It's pretty much just a PC port. Has a lot of the same mechanics as the PC. Like, doesn't really seem like they changed anything, not even with the UI. But I think it still looks really clean. I think the frame rate could be a bit better. I'm actually surprised that there's not like a performance and quality mode. On my Switch, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon with my daughter.
Nice.
That's been my week.
And I hear that you've beaten Final Fantasy 15.
Yes. Yeah.
And
beat it. No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, okay, verdict.
Out of 10, I would give it like a strong 7.
Okay.
It's definitely, because to me 5 is average. It's definitely above average. It's combat is probably its weakest part of it. It's definitely not terrible, but it's not great in that respect. And the story is decent. Like the thing that keeps me coming back, at least, is like the bromance before the 4 guys. I actually didn't expect to like their relationship between the 4 of them as much as I did. But they go well together. I kind of wish that some of the lines weren't as repeated as much during combat or out of combat. But besides that, definitely a good experience. I really enjoyed it. I can see the influences that Final Fantasy 14 played in the story, as weird as that sounds, and other games. But it makes me look more forward to 16, because I think they're going to take a lot of the experience from this game, and with Yoshi P heading in the development for that, all the experience he's gotten from 14, I really expect 16, and they're saying that 16 is going to be way more action oriented than 15. So I think they're really fixing up the combat style. I mean, especially when we play Stranger Paradise.
I mean, we may not get that bromance either. You know what I'm saying? It might be just a single player experience with a pet, hopefully, which would be kind of cool. If they did that. But hey, I mean, what was your favorite weapon?
I stuck mostly with the swords and the spears. Not that the other weapons weren't good. It's just that you kind of got more benefit out of those 2 weapons with the I can't think of what the name of the skill tree was, but there were more skills that actually really synergize with those 2 weapons the most. But typically mostly the swords, just because there were some pretty cool swords out there, like the blood sword and the I got the ultimate weapon, the sword, like pretty early in the game. I actually got it kind of like by surprise without really realizing. I didn't follow any guides or anything. I really wanted to surprise myself. I played a bit with the king's weapons, but like they take such a heavy toll on you where they kind of eat up your HP. So I still gotta kind of figure that out some more if I want to be like really OP.
What about the other episodes, like the Gladius and the Prompto, and did you?
So I want to do those because I could see where those probably kind of fall in with the story, and that'll kind of probably flesh it out more for me to enjoy the story more. But I really want to get all like the side stuff finished first, because I know I'm missing only 2 of the king's weapons, and I saw that I can fight the adamantoise now, and I can
Yes.
fight ultima weapon, and I want to beat that stuff before I do that.
So, so the adamantoise, you definitely need to be 99 for that one.
Yeah, that guy has a lot of health.
Yeah, not just that. I think you have to buff up your weapons because it is an 8-hour fight. If you're not,
Oh my god,
Yo, wait. What do you mean?
it's a shift that works.
it's literally a job to defeat that boss.
Okay.
Set up
So
8 hour fight.
I'm telling you, like when I did that joint, I think I was like 90. Like everybody was in their 90s, and it took me a whole day. It took me a whole day. And I think I did get something out of it. I just don't remember what it was. It definitely was an achievement though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the most satisfying thing that happened in the game, for me at least, was, you know, that big black bird monster that you meet in the beginning that flies over you,
Yeah.
but you don't see it at all during the story. I
Yeah.
fought him because of a quest I got for getting like the weapons and stuff. I guess this old man is making ultimate weapons for me now,
Yeah.
and killing that was pretty satisfying to see how strong my characters have gotten since then. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. You had to go all the way up the mountain and something. I don't know if it was the egg or was it actually killing it. I'm not sure, but it's pretty
Actually
cool.
killing it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And to the left of that mountain, but beyond the road, is the hidden dungeon. That is a rogue dungeon. And you know, we played that dungeon in our earlier episodes.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't done those yet. I really got to. I need like some kind of key or something, right?
No. You just need
okay.
you just need to have your car fly.
Oh. Okay. I have that. So I gotta go explore then.
Yeah, you have to explore. You'll know because it's a building that's beyond the boundary that you shouldn't be able to go through. Because
Okay.
one of the main tasks is actually landing the car. Because if you don't land it right, your car will crash into a rock and it will say game over because everybody dies pretty much.
Okay.
So yeah, you know, the landing of the car is one aspect of it, and then getting to the dungeon is the next aspect to it, because the enemies there could kill you, right? Because I think they might be a little bit stronger than you. I'm not sure. It's been a while. And man, once you get in the dungeon, it's a puzzle from beginning to end. It's like it's just a progressive puzzle. There is no there is no bosses.
Okay.
But I think you get like the black belt. I think there's a black belt, and what it is that you would phase through you will automatically block enemies.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that's
pretty
what
badass.
because when let's say you
knock this then.
yeah, it's only for Noctis. And you will know because if you stand still and an enemy that has a sword comes at you, you notice that Noctis is just phasing left and right, left and right, left and right. He's not getting touched. And it's because of that. Yeah.
I'm watching what's going on the screen right now, and it's just insane.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of pretty fireworks going on in the screen right now.
Right, I'm just like, this is a light show for me, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta get like the glow sticks out.
So, you know, I diverted away from the Don CJG. I know he's interested on the screen, but we will bring him back into the podcast for a quick sec because 343 is working on adding Fiesta, Tactical Slayer, and Free for All at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think it's a long time coming. Even though they just came out last month, I think that should have been day one type of modes, in my opinion. But I'll leave it up to the Halo Master himself.
Yeah, man. It's been what, 2 and a bit weeks now since it dropped, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
It's free. Yeah. it's been an interesting experience. I don't think I've been on the podcast since it dropped. So
Dang.
yeah, wow, it's been a time. It's been a time, that's for sure.
We're just waiting for you to
You
start
know,
talking, dude.
well, you know what it is, man. There's a lot to go through with it because I
Uh-huh.
think core fundamentals, right? The gameplay is just, we played it. It's great. You know what I mean? But there's a lot missing.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, like, I think it comes to understanding that now it's a free to play live service game, right? So it's gonna be different. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of community hasn't really clocked onto that yet. So everyone's like, where's this and this and this? It's not to be an excuse that these things shouldn't be there, but to some extent, I can kind of understand the mindset of it. But yeah, there's been a lot of complaints, and I think fair play. Feel free to kind of come out and be like, hey, look, we've heard your feedback. We're changing this and that, and they have, they had a DXP update last
Mhm.
week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now if you play 6 games, like 7 games, you can level up an entire level, which you play
That's
in
not
bot
bad.
matches. That's like half an hour in bot matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So you can level up in your first 5 or 6 games, so it's not so bad. And obviously, I think the problem has been kind of shifted now towards the whole playlist selection, which I think is a pretty fair shout.
Yeah.
Because at the minute you've got your bar arena, your quick player, your ranked, your big team, but you don't really have any individual choice between that.
Yeah.
And when the game first dropped, I saw that and I was like, "Is this it?" I was like, "Is this it?" But you know why I say that though? It's because when Halo 5 came out, they had this exact same issue.
Correct.
Okay.
Right? And it was like, "Where's big team? Where's infection? Where's this?" And it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't believe they've done the same thing.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I guess I find it kind of weird too because I feel like they've done such a great job with fixing, like Master Chief Collection in particular, and like really nailing it. So you would think that they would take all those lessons and really just start day one with that, right?
Right. Yeah, I just feel like they. I don't know what happened, right? There was a tweet thread. Let me pull it up here. It came out last night, and they were saying essentially like the goal for events is to try out these new playlist modes before adding them into actual dedicated playlists for themselves. See how the community reacts to it. Which okay, I kind of get that idea, but like you need to do it for SWAT, you need to do it for King of the Hill and Fiesta. Like these are
The core
these aren't
aspects
exactly
of
new
multiplayer.
modes. You know what I mean? It's the thing. Like these are legacy modes. They exist.
Yeah.
Not like anything has particularly changed from them now to what they were before. So I don't understand. But I think that kind of ties into live service aspect of it, right? So like, we'll push out with a event first. But it's like that's fine, but you need to give us something else, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like they would need to do something new, like something out of the box of Halo, but still Halo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's the thing, like there are other modes in the
Yeah.
game what we don't have access to, what are new, which I could understand they want to put in an event to try it out first. I can
Actually,
understand that.
it would make sense if the events were based off of community playlist type stuff, like like things that nobody would think you would be able to do in a Halo game.
That's like action sack, but I think the problem with that is now we don't have Forge,
Right.
so
Yes.
Right.
so we gotta.
I would like to think, like, and this is, I guess, me trying to play to the devs' favor because I would like to think that in the end of the day, devs are gamers too, and there's more love and care on that side of the fence compared to corporate.
Not
I kind of
Activision.
feel like. I think this is kind of a corporate move, right? Just like kind of like time gate stuff, and they in their heads they think, oh, if we get these things to them little by little, it'll keep them engaged in the game longer. When they don't realize when you do that, it actually makes people like leave faster because there's not enough, choices there. When you give people more choices, then they'll naturally flow to where they want to go. Like
For sure.
for me, for example, like I would probably play a lot of like infection and stuff like that because I think that's kind of fun. And not having that is like, all right, well, I played one match today, I played 2 matches today, I'm good for today. And then eventually you just kind of get bored and just move on to something else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. This is the thing. Like they have options in there, but
They
the thing
do.
is it's just they were bonded it all together, which is fine for like someone like me who doesn't mind playing whatever, but for a certain person, I don't know, like general player,
Yeah,
new
the
to the
casual
series,
player.
they don't know capture flag or oddball or whatever.
For
I
sure.
think I was playing like I think I played the other day. I played ranked for about 2-3 hours. Lost every single match because no one knows how to play objective.
Oh wow. Tell me about
I
it.
was just like, I was so infuriated. I was like,
You're not the
people
only
playing it.
one, Don.
oh
You're not
no,
the only one.
yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like, it was infuriating, dude, because I'm doing such great performance every match, and it's just like, nah, I'm not picking up the oddball.
I think that's
Exactly.
I think that's kind of part of the problem too, right? Like you should also get rewarded, like points wise towards your season, for
Mhm.
following the objectives, right? Because I think that would naturally teach some players who don't know how to play, like how to play. Like, oh, I'm getting rewarded for picking it up or defending or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, but wouldn't
think
that
that would help.
require some mechanics to be in place to do that a little bit more than the simple multiplayer aspect? Because when you
Sure.
think about it, I mean, I'm not saying that they can't do it. They have like over 300 people working on the game. You know what I mean? So that should be in there. But I think when I think about Halo and the mechanics that are in there, is meant for people who do certain types of kills. Like Oink
Oh, yeah.
and stuff like that. But when it comes to support to, let's say, capture the flag or oddball, I've never really seen anything relative to you helping someone carrying the ball. Like if you died, but you died in as a martyr for the guy to get to the to the goal, there would be like a martyr what do you call
think
it, a
medals like
symbol,
that have
like
existed.
like a symbol or
Something
something.
like
Yeah,
I think,
badge.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
badge,
think
yeah.
a medal is just gonna hit for 5, something like that. But just like, I think the area with the system now, right? Because I think something like that does exist in MCC to some regard, right?
Yes.
Where your XP path after match is based on, I think, performance, objective, and assists, something like that.
Mhm.
So it's capped at like, I don't know, 6,000 points, whatever, for each of those categories. But if you want to maximize your XP, you'll get the kills, you'll do the objective, you'll assist, and that's how you
Yes.
maximize. But now it's just like, here's your XP for complete the match. So
Okay.
you're not incentivized to play the objectives. People don't.
Yeah, that's
I
That's
feel
why I
like
was surprised by it.
XP incentives only go so far, but I think
Yeah.
it does encourage people to do it a little bit more.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because at the minute, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. The amount of people who are just out there just wandering around like headless chickens.
Oh yeah.
Well, first I want to apologize. I did clear my throat, but I tried to hit my mute button and it did not work. So that might have been loud on the mic. My apologies to everyone listening. But I did mention, there was this thing that Dio said earlier that, that we expect developers to, play their game, right?
Yep.
And to understand the mechanics before we get into them so that they'll be able to, to guide us through this process. Like for some games don't even tell you what to do. Other games they walk you through a tutorial. But at the end of the day, what a game is supposed to do is to, make things so synonymous. Like when you put a controller in your hands, you're not thinking that you're playing a game. You're thinking you're having an experience. You're in a world and you're living in that world. So anyways, I mentioned Activision. Because we know Activision has a problem with doing these things. Oh, it's very our favorite. I think we should. I think we should be
Right up there
affiliates.
next to EA.
We should be affiliates and get like some funding for saying their
Yeah,
names.
Activision Shield T-shirts. Good.
Anyways, Raven well, this is not about Activision. This is actually about, I think it's EA actually.
Oh, it's
No,
Activision.
it is Activision.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. How dare
Yep.
you know what I'm talking? I haven't even said what I was going to talk
There's one or
about.
two things. I think there's one or two. What you talking about.
Yo, is this ESP? No, I'm joking. Because I was gonna. There was talk about Activision in the article, but it is my mind went EA when I saw a different studio name. So Raven Software, they let go some QA testers,
Yes.
about 12 of them. Now the thought process is, there's always layoffs, or people always leave and then they go do ventures elsewhere, but these specific people were promised a better benefits and escalation in jobs. They're gonna go to Vault and get like $1.50 hourly pay raise, right?
Yep.
On top of what they have, it would have been $18 an hour. Receive a bonus, and of course, the transfer to the company would have granted them those bonuses, and instead of getting those bonuses, they were laid off. Sorry.
Like laid to rest.
Yeah, bro. Well, when I heard this, I was like, well, seeing the situation that happened with Call of Duty Vanguard, it makes sense. But these guys were not involved with that. These guys were closely related to Warzone and the success of Warzone. So now it doesn't make sense why they were laid off, in my opinion. Dio,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts about that?
I mean, even then, even if they were related to Vanguard, right? I still think this is a step in the wrong direction, because this kind of plays towards where I see this just in the gaming industry in general, where they keep using players as their QA for betas, and I think to an extent that's fine, but a lot of these betas typically are not being fixed right after the beta, right? So now it's not even like they're using it for testing; they're using it more for advertising. So if you're not going to use the beta for what it's meant for, then you need these QA people even more, and that's the sad part of this, because I don't know the exact number, the amount of people who got laid off in this, but I mean, typically QA teams are not that big anyway in a lot of these places anymore, like they used to be.
Yeah.
They've gotten smaller and smaller, so I mean, at this point, like, why would you get rid of any of them? Like, I'm sure, like, I don't know how many they have, but I would imagine it's probably like a team at like maybe 30 at most, but I would imagine it's really closer to like 10 or 15.
Yeah.
So after this, it's probably like a team of 5 now.
I mean, who knows? But the thing that we also have to consider is, you make a good point that they use it for advertisement, but they also use it as a way to say, we're still working on the game and here's the fixes that are coming. Well, these things that were, announced as, hey, we're gonna fix this, fix that. Are they trying to like vet the community that is playing a game to see it lines up with the testers, and then say, hey, yeah, this is what we had in the bucket the whole time, so we do need to fix this? Or, I mean, it sounds kind of weird to me. Why have testers if you're not gonna listen to them? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I feel like, testers are more testing rather than actually making decisions. I feel like a lot of let's take Vanguard for example. I think a lot of the things what people don't like about that game were decisions that were already made higher up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's just like, you got your testers there to make sure the game's running and it's stable, but they're not making foundational comments. And even if they did, well, it's like, oh well, it's not fitting our vision of the game, so screw you.
Yeah, that's core, because they would need to understand game development to then,
exactly.
I would say some to give you that, to give that information. Now, Halo on the other end, from my understanding, the testers are people who play esports for Halo, right? So what's the difference with that?
They have the pro team, what kind of design multiplayer.
Okay. Okay, so their feedback is for the multiplayer, like the verticality and things of that nature that would make it fun.
Yeah. I think the pro team are kind of, they work with the multiplayer team and kind of designing weapons and maps and how things are balanced essentially. So they're not necessarily a direct QA team like, oh, here's a bug here and there. These guys are actually like core foundational builders to an extent.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's just,
which I think is why the gameplay feels so great.
True. And I think just to touch a little bit when you were saying about like the beta too, not to sound too much of a pessimist, but I kind of feel like a lot of these companies release these betas, not just for the, advertising aspect of it, but like almost to see like what can we get away with not doing, and they'll accept, right? Like if no one complains about a beta, then they'll just release it like that, right? And then people will complain after it's released because everyone's excuse, especially when it's their like favorite company, oh, it's just a beta, it'll get fixed before it launches, and it's like, dude, like it's launching in 2 weeks. There's not much they're gonna change after this.
Yeah, for real. This is the thing. Like I remember, this kind of ties into the Xbox Museum a little bit, but I remember my first day on Xbox Live was the Halo Reach beta, right? And that was 3rd of May 2010, but that game didn't come out until a long time after that.
Yep.
But now you've got, say, the Battlefield beta 1 month before launch. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? Same Call of Duty. It's just like,
but it was
a
a stress test though. That's all it was. It was a technical stress test for the server. So there wasn't going to change anything.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. Like I guess like also how they advertise the name of it. Like they have to like be more upfront of what the tests are, right? But then again, I mean, it could be also the players' fault for misinterpreting what like the dev team wants it to be.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's interesting. And as consumers, you just have to be more careful, I guess. Not to be foiled by, the hype, pretty much. Yes, I can. One sec. Dio, are you there?
Yeah, we're good. It's
okay.
Just,
Don sees it. Yeah, he dropped off for a quick second here. So we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. Whenever he's ready. But all right. So now I want to touch on Sony, but I think that would be, I want to get Don CJG in before that time.
Sure.
Do you have anything else? What's
Yeah.
going on your end?
So talking about the creative process, I don't know if you heard this, but Dragon Age lost their senior creative director.
Really?
Yeah, at BioWare. So Matt Goldman, he's been in that position since 2017. He left. So this is yet another person who has left before Dragon Age 4 has released.
Oh wow.
And I do want Dragon Age 4 to be good because I did sincerely love Part 1. Part 2 I wasn't crazy about, but it definitely wasn't like a terrible game. And 3, I would like to replay 3 just to see if, because after playing 15 again and giving it more time, I enjoyed it more than I thought. Maybe 3 will have that same aspect. Yeah, that same effect. But I don't think it will as much as 15 because 15 does play like a single player game and it does it well, where Dragon Age 3, like at least for me, it feels like they were trying to work on like a live service or a multiplayer game, but then stopped because they didn't think they could get away with it. So I don't know. Hopefully 4 is just a lot better. I would love that because I always thought that the lore of Dragon Age, especially Part 1, was just so good, especially for its time.
Got you. So what state is the game in? Is it close to being gold?
I don't think so. I think it's still like really in the oven.
Oh wow.
Like because we're not really getting any big updates. I mean, I feel like we're getting more updates on Starfield, just like the every day. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yeah, I did with Tom Howard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually appreciated that, and a lot of the stuff he was saying, Todd, was stuff that I kind of expected from Starfield. I expected it to be like a more realistic kind of universe compared to like Skyrim and Fallout.
Yeah.
Like at least from like the design of like the spaceship and all those other things,
Yeah.
which is cool. I think that it doesn't have to be overly science fiction or overly fantasy to be a good game. Um,
But it is.
it is, yeah, and it looks pretty. Like I really like the concept art that I've seen,
Hmm.
and I'm getting more excited for it. I mean, especially because I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna get it on Game Pass day one, and if we don't, I'm probably still gonna end up getting it, regardless.
You
'Cause
know,
I would love to play it.
it's funny to see how we are starting to see these games that were promised taking shape as we get closer into 2022. Before, it was just a meme and an idea and coming soon and a splash screen, right? Like that was it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't show nothing. And Xbox and the community would get ridiculed like, oh yeah, it's gonna be trash. And then
Yeah.
the closer we get to these to actually seeing gameplay, because the gameplay that they released was still like, if it felt alpha, like an alpha video. It didn't feel
For
like
sure.
it was, yeah, it didn't feel like it was actually a trailer. It's just like, hey, this is what you can expect to see in the game, but this is not the game.
Yeah.
All right, cool. But I'm still hopeful, and hopefully the not I'm hoping to expect some deep discovery in some things, like a piece of Mass Effect,
Yes.
a piece of what's the name of the game?
New World? Not New World. Damn it. I know what you're thinking too.
Yes, you're there.
Wow.
Exactly. That's how I feel right now. But it was another game that came out by the former
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds, yes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yes,
mean-
yes, indeed.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yo, we were having like guess who issues.
Yeah, Discord just broke.
Uh, yeah. Well, you patched it up well. But yeah,
yeah.
like deep discovery to where, for some, like scanning plants and getting experience from it, scanning planets and getting experience from it, killing enemies and getting experience from it. I mean, I might be putting too much in, but we're talking about Bethesda. Who knows what they'll do? But they're always, from my understanding, they're like the open world geniuses in certain areas,
Yes.
in certain situations. So they would make sure that certain things are available to you just for your entertainment. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking forward to it. As far as to see what more comes out of that. Don CJG, welcome back. It was a struggle.
It was. We were deep in it, and Discord was like, you know what? We're giving you a black screen, and we're just gonna not work.
Oh wow! All right. Well, we got something else to dive deep into, because it
Ooh.
impacts the industry in ways that was expected.
Yes.
But the community, therefore, was so much against it because they thought it would never happen. Because why? Why? Because games need to be 500,000 million, whatever it was, to get that cinematic story that they so need. It has come to our attention that PlayStation is now pushing their version of Game Pass.
What?
It is set to be released. Exactly. It is set to be released in 2022 during the springtime. When is spring? Spring is around April timeframe, between March and April, May timeframe. So it's pretty soon. So you're telling me after Sean Layden said all that, after the head of PlayStation said all that too, where they don't see it sustainable, they have enough time to craft this product, this solution, and then bring it out within the next 6 months.
I mean, the real question here, Bonix, is it really a solution or is it a half-assed effort?
Look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you be the person that said that. Guys, his Twitter handle is his name. Go find him.
I mean,
yeah.
I already kind of like, at least in my opinion, and it's still up for debate. I already called what they're gonna do with it. Like with them closing their PSP store and their PS3 store and all these things, like that was gonna be naturally what was gonna go on their version of Game Pass.
Exactly.
So it's gonna be cool for some people who really haven't played those older games from PS1 to PS2, 3, and PSP. But at the same respect, I mean, what makes Game Pass great is not only the library of older games, but even the day one exclusives coming out, and also like the third-party support. I'm sure this will have third-party support, but they've already said they're not going to have day one releases.
Yeah, right. That was from the get. Listen, even that was said before the idea that they would consider it was plausible. Like they were thinking, hey, we can't afford to have day one on a platform for $15 a month. You know what I mean? But here's the other thing. Like all of Xbox first party title games are on Game Pass. On the PlayStation Plus, well, I'll say this. The PlayStation Plus will be, I'm assuming, will be the name of their Game Pass competitor.
Something like that, yeah.
They're putting PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now together into one bundle, and then they're gonna phase out PlayStation Now. So the cheapest tier will be those who already have the PlayStation Plus. Congratulations, you're now in Game Pass for PlayStation as it exists today. There are no differences as far as I can understand. There's no big details about it. We'll hear about it next year. But if you're subscribed to PlayStation Plus, congratulations. You're PlayStation Game Pass. That's basically what it is right now. The second tier, access to a number of PlayStation 4 and 5 games. Now, what this means to me is this is not 100% of PlayStation 4 and 5 games. This is just some.
Yep.
And that's bad.
Well, it's not even just that's bad. The fact that you have to go to tier 3 just to play the old games.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. The old games would have been an entry barrier to PlayStation Plus. That's what I would have done. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
I think that's going to be their weakest part of it. Like, I think that should have been, like how you said, the entry point, and then you could still have your tier 2 with the PS4 and PS5 games. I think that would have made sense.
But here's the problem. The PS4 and 5 games are not all of PS4 and 5 games. It's just some of them. I mean, I get it. The next gen, blah, 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 right? But at least put all of PlayStation 4 into the pass.
Yes, that's for sure. You know what I mean?
Because it's last gen. It's done. And then that incentivizes people with PlayStation 4 to get into the Game Pass for PlayStation, and then they can then strategize how they want to move forward into the PS5 area with the exclusives. I'm not exclusives, but well, technically it is because PlayStation 4 can't play it, right? So how they can go that route. The only thing that they can't do is cloud. Not like Xbox.
I think that they put the tier 3 that way on purpose, knowing that most of their customer base still has the PS4. So it'll like almost coheres people into getting tier 3, just because if you get tier 2 as a PS4 player, you're not really getting much value out of that because you're not getting these PS5 games. But if you get to tier 3, you're getting that whole library of games that you might play, sure, but you're probably not going to because most players don't play old games, because it's kind of like that mentality, I've been there, done that. So I don't know. I think it's almost kind of like a nasty move by them. Like, to me, it's like kind of anti-consumer for like people who are not going to realize they're getting played, who are actually going to go for tier 3 just because they have a PS4 and don't see the value out of the tier 2. But I mean, I could definitely be wrong. But I kind of think that's why they did that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same mindset, man. I feel like it's like I think, I kind of look at it as something like, yeah, look, we've got a subscription service too. Look, it's Game Pass PlayStation version, but then you look at it, what it actually is, it's not. It's like the ugly stepsister.
Yeah.
What?
This ain't what we want.
What?
For real though, like you look at it and it's like, okay, you're doing it's a move, but when I look at Game Pass, I'm like, wow, this is a great deal for anyone who gets on board, right? This is great. And then you look at PlayStation, and it's like, this is an okay deal for some people.
I mean, I can agree with that. I just believe personally that their old games should be PlayStation. It should be tier 1.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
It's baffling.
Are they gonna get the money out of you, Max?
I mean, but that's how you get the money though. Because let's think about this for a second, right? What was your favorite 360 game? Don CJG.
God knows. I have no idea.
What did you play the most of? Okay, I'm gonna say Crisis 2, and I'm also gonna say I'm gonna put this in there. Ghost Recon Future Soldier, right? With multiplayer still enabled. If that was in Game Pass, right? You can't tell me that you wouldn't re-download that game and relive that memory. And then you would call Chainsaw and Alden and me and, probably get Dio up in there, third person shooter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we fight it out with some other people in some arena style joints. I mean, though that's what you want people to do with your PlayStation. You're limiting their dream of playing these old games by forcing them to pay more for something that, okay, now will these games exist? Because now they just said PSP, PS2, PS3, PS1. How far back of a catalog are these games, or will they be able to go within their platform? I mean, okay, first and foremost, I'll say this. Yes, PS1, PS2, PS3. Yeah, we know, right? But if they're saying some PlayStation 4 and 5 games, I assume some PS1, some PS2, some PS3, and some PSP games will be available. Not all. So I'm just thinking in between the lines here is like, okay, I can't really jump at that until I see a list like what Xbox did. These are the list of games that are available.
Yeah. I think something's wrong with my sound.
No, I hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think there's definitely going to be a limited list, but to be prepared, right? Because I mean, you look at something like the PlayStation 1 Mini or whatever they called it, right? That would be like a good starting ground of what you're going to expect to see on the PS1 catalog on this, and maybe even less than that, because they're definitely going to have their first party games there, right, from PS1. But the ones that are still owned by other companies like Square Enix or whatever are not going to be guaranteed to be there. And honestly, PS1 comparatively, especially compared to PlayStation 2, most of the games that were on PS1 were definitely third party. A lot of companies went to PS1 because that was like kind of the cheapest place to go to make your games and had the most payback. PS2 would definitely have a way bigger catalog, which would be pretty awesome. But in the end of the day, I think this really just takes advantage mostly of PS4 players. I think PS5 players, I bet you if you looked at the statistics, you're gonna see a lot of PS5 players who are only gonna stay at tier 2, and I bet you most of the people on tier 3 are gonna be PS4 players. If I had to guess.
Yeah, it just seems like, for me at least, my understanding was early tier. It just seems like you're just paying for backwards compatibility.
And then there's a big thing too, when you think about it like this. I mean, that's definitely a really good point, Don, like the backwards compatibility. But there's no mention of PC like support, right? For this.
Yeah.
And Game Pass Ultimate is such an awesome deal on PC. Like
Mhm.
like even like with the streaming, like I like on the cloud, like I've been playing games on my PC from like that also, and it's pretty cool. Like I don't have to actually download it on my PC.
Yeah, cloud is great, man. Honestly,
is.
Like,
It
cloud
works
works
very
really
well.
damn well.
Yeah. So
it's awesome.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it has that same value at all.
No. I think this is only like, hey, look, we're making a monetization service. Give us your money.
Yeah.
Stop.
For real.
That's what it,
Yeah.
that's what it is,
Stop.
bro. Like, I'm for
Stop.
real, man. Like,
Yo,
this isn't for the players. This is for Sony's wallet.
Yo,
Yeah.
that was
I'll
such.
say right now, come at me on Twitter, but I don't care.
Yo, that was the way you said that was so meme-ish. It was like, what? It was like, you know, it's like, okay, guys, we know Xbox exists, so here's this. There you go. And then, you know, it feels like that. I have a PlayStation, right? I want to get into Final Fantasy VII Remake. That'll be the only game that I want to play right now. But for some reason, right, I guess I'm still waiting for PC, right? And the potential push for other platforms as well. But more closer to that would, I think, who has a real benefit to be on Xbox Game Pass would be Final Fantasy 15. We know that's going to be happening, right, at some point in time, and that's why I'm kind of like, okay, PlayStation, you gotta do something way better, because even your loyal developers are like tiptoeing towards Game Pass. Like, yo, come on, like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I could have swore Final Fantasy 15 was on Game Pass for a little while.
No.
And then it came
Oh
off.
no, not 15. 14.
Oh, 14. Okay,
Yeah,
I
14. My bad. My apologies. 14.
Yeah.
That is a heavy request from the community.
Mhm.
They know it. Phil Spencer knows it. Yoshi P knows it. There's just something happening in between, some red tape that they're trying to squash. So they're waiting on that.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. As well, I look at Game Pass is moving consoles for Xbox, man, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
honestly, I would get a PlayStation if they had a Game Pass like thing where I could play the new games on it. But I don't want to pay £70 for a game, bro.
No.
It's ridiculous. I can't. It's such a crazy thing. I just don't understand why they're being so stubborn at that. Like, oh, we don't want to make a good service. We just don't want to. It's like Jim Ryan doesn't want to do it.
I think
It's
it really falls to the point that like PlayStation is really like its big money maker in Sony, and like I mean, if it's not their, I think they're just so worried about it failing because they can't see how that would work, and if it failed, like that would just kind of like
Yeah, I know what.
be the end of Sony.
I
you know what I mean?
think I figured it out. Right. I was listening to I don't remember where I heard this from, but it was an interview with Phil Spencer not too long ago. No, he was saying basically, hey, look, we had a year trial of Game Pass basically to figure out like if it would work or not. I think Sea of Thieves is the first game. It's like, okay, this can work, right? But I think Microsoft have the money to let Game Pass not be profitable for a while, right?
For sure.
Microsoft have that money to do it. With PlayStation, I think the problem is now they don't have the infinite wallet,
No.
right? So if they're gonna bring out a service, it needs to be profitable off the bat, which isn't likely. So I think maybe that's why they're doing this now.
Yeah.
Here's the thing too, we have to consider. Satya Nadella sold. I think is it that he sold his shares or he gave his shares back to the business? Let me see.
Oh, really?
He sells half his share in the company. It did cross my mind, and it just came back as we started talking about some things. So I'm just gonna read this. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella sold more than half his shares in the Redmond tech giant last week in a $285 million transaction that some suspect was timed to escape a okay, this probably was bad. Downturn and lower Nadella's exposure to a looming capital gain in tax in Washington State. Well, anyways, so well, I guess I should continue reading. We shouldn't hold back anything, right? So Nadella sold the 838,584 shares on November 22nd to 23rd. That's a lot of shares. According to the company filing with the Federal Securities and Exchange Commission. In a statement Tuesday, Microsoft spokesman said that Nadella sold the shares for personal financial planning and diversification reasons, and added that Nadella, who is also company chairman, is committed to the continued success of the company, and his holding significantly exceeds the holding requirement set by Microsoft board of directors. So, hearing that, sounds good. It sounds good. That first part was just a little loomy for a quick second. But let's consider this, right? Satya Nadella put money into Xbox, was it 3 months ago or 4 months ago? He basically tied his salary to the Xbox Game Pass or the Get Xbox brand. And the more that Xbox sells, the more he makes.
Yep.
So it makes sense that he would sell off for tax reasons. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And like you said, he wants to diversify as well.
Exactly. So, I mean, but that beginning part, where was it? According to company filings with the Federal Securities and Exchange Commissions, and all these things about, that was getting dirty. I was like, yo, we about to get some haters in a minute.
Or the Xbox come after us, bro.
Yo, it is what it is. I mean, information is information. You can find it yourself and you can make your own determination. And you know what I'm saying? But what we spit on this channel is purely 1, things that we like, 2, things that we find, and 3, what we find confusing and what we think will fix it, right? PlayStation Plus is a confusing platform because Tier 3 should be Tier 1, and Tier 1 becoming Tier 3 should be all-inclusive, first party, day 1 drops, you know what I'm saying? And some special stuff for people who pay that much, because they haven't even talked about price. $15 for Ultimate. If they want to make those blockbuster games, they got to do more than $15 a month for their highest tier.
Yeah.
Point, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the scary part as a PlayStation gamer. To even think about PlayStation Plus as a Game Pass competitor, how much I'm going to be paying to get the same Spider-Man feel that I got on the PlayStation 4.
Yep.
Here's how they do it, Max. They charge you $70 for the highest tier.
Wow. Yo, Don CJG is on a roll. I don't know if we should have him on the podcast right now.
Yeah, I mean, he says that, but I can kind of see it though. Like, that's the sad thing, is I can kind of see it.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah. Because you got some people who would look at it like, oh, well, I mean, if I buy 1 game a month, I mean, I'm getting to play all these games for the same price.
True. And they would then legitimize it and say, oh, we pay so much, you pay so little, that's why you need cloud, that's why you need it on PC, that's why you can see it already. You can
oh my god.
You can see it.
Look, I'm gonna put it on the record, bro. I called it.
I would hope to get them benefit of the doubt that it would be like 10, 20, 30, right, for each tier. But I don't know now that you said that, I mean, it is a possibility.
So it would be called the Ultimate PlayStation Plus for $70, $69.99.
Oh my god.
Why did you sow that seed, bro? Like, why did you say that, bro? Like, yo.
Yeah, I heard Jim Ryan's listening right now. He's like, this guy's got some good ideas.
Yeah, he's like, you guys think I could get away with that? For real?
Oh man. Okay, let's move away from PlayStation before we get more haters than what we need. Don CJ, well, you've been sleeping the entire week, but I'm gonna still ask. Anything else on your end that you found captivating this week for the gaming news?
Oh yeah. Yo, did you hear about Battlefield 2042? It's burning to the ground like a crisp. Great. Marcus is like, oh man. Yeah, Battlefield's not doing too well, huh? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought that game won't need a delay in 6 months, but didn't get delayed? It's now on Steam, lost 70% of its player base in 2 weeks.
That's not bad.
A bunch of staff got fired. They're making a Battlefield universe.
Yo,
They got Vince Zampella taking care of DICE right now because they got rid of the other dude.
Don, you sound too happy. You sound way too happy right now, man.
Because I called it, bro. I called it. When I played that beta, I said this game's gonna launch like trash, and here we are.
Oh my gosh.
Broken game, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Broken game.
We should have ended with Sony instead of Battlefield.
Dude.
I haven't played since the technical test. I refuse to call it a beta.
The trial was on trials on Game Pass.
I couldn't do the trial either. When I see 9 hours left, I'll be like, nope. I don't know,
Dude,
man.
I played 1 hour about trial. I logged on yesterday to get an achievement in it. They're like, your trial's almost expired. It's like, it hasn't. I've still got like a good 9 hours
Look,
left.
I'll say this.
They're just trying to make me buy the game, bro.
Like that whole time thing, that's for what's that thing that Xbox does? The preview program.
Yeah.
That's for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see it there. There is no reason why, right? EA partnered with Xbox inside of Game Pass, and I'm being timed to play a game that's not good.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know why, Max?
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
You just paid
Hey.
up front for it.
Microsoft, we heard you have an early access program. Can we get in that?
Right? For real, bro.
You know what they could have done? No, they're too big for early access though.
They really are. There's no excuse for that.
They're
really
too big for that. Man, that's
Just mismanagement at its core, bro.
Yeah.
Okay,
100%.
I'm gonna do the unthinkable on a podcast. All right, we have Activision on our left, EA on our right.
Uh-huh.
Do they both
Oh, no.
deserve the same score as the worst companies on the planet? I'm talking from a logistical perspective. We're not doing the whole, bashment of like,
Yeah.
Someone say
but-
bashment?
Yes, bashment. You know what bashment
Yeah.
is, UK? Come on, bro.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Unless it means something completely different on the other side of the pond. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna leave that alone. We're not trying to create some form of hate or whatever, but because of the industry, right? And because of the things that are happening with these two companies, right? I even read a story from this one dude who he talked about his experiences with EA and his experience with Activision, right? And his experience with EA, he said it was garbage, but he would rather go through EA than to have worked at Activision. You know what I'm saying? And his video was specifically regarding the case that Activision was going through and his experience as a dev going through as a contractor and then being let out because of, his belief basically of how people should be treated. He spoke up in certain situations.
You mean the correct belief of how we should be treated?
Yeah, he corrected some, he voiced his opinion. he was called to HR. HR said blah blah blah, right? And then he left. You either do this or you do this, and he said F it, and he left, right? So, but then he was able to work for Disney. He was able to work for EA, and he was saying all these companies are, you know, they have bad sides to them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They're just not public, right? But these two are the outstanding companies. And just want to know from Don CJG and from Dio Zales, before we cut it short, because we're about to hit that hour, you know, which, if you had a choice between the two, right, to send your resume, I know y'all gonna say I wouldn't send it at all, but times are rough. You need to make the money. You're a dev.
Gotta choose Ubisoft, bro.
You're in high demand. Okay.
I feel like EA is probably lesser of two evils.
Uh-huh.
I feel like EA are just really bad at managing projects and games.
Mm-hmm.
But at least they don't have a civil law case against the HR department.
Right now.
Right. As of now, yeah. I mean, I can agree with that, and I would say the same. My heart really would be burdened to go through another Anthem situation.
Yeah. What is the thing, right? You can make it a bunch of canceled games.
No, exactly. Well, it's not even canceled. Right. There's some games that are canceled after being presented at E3. Let's consider Scalebound. That was the unfortunate game, right? It happened.
Rest in peace.
But, you know, in comparison to EA, I mean, the pushback and everything, you put your blood, sweat, and
Rest in
tears
peace,
into it.
Titanfall 3, bro.
I'm just saying. What about you, Dio?
On a pure like biased perspective of growing up as a gamer, I probably would, just off of name recognition, go with Activision Blizzard, because in my head I still associate EA as a sports game like manufacturer, because like when I grew up, that's what it was. EA Sports. It's
Get in the game.
Like that's all I hear when I hear EA. I don't think of anything else besides that, and that's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
But there was just a lot more games on Activision Blizzard that I have a lot bigger connection to, like World of Warcraft, Diablo, Crash Bandicoot, freaking Spyro the Dragon.
Okay.
No, not Call of Duty.
was
I
a
mean,
big
Call of Duty in its beginning years, right? Like they were fun.
So you're not a
So-
huge fan of Infinite Warfare?
No.
Definitely not. Definitely not. No.
No, that was
No.
definitely the breaking point for me.
Yo, the last one was Black Ops 2.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
really.
I didn't even
was.
like that one, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't say I had that same love for things growing up with with Electronic Arts. Like I can think of like a few games that I thought were really cool, but nothing with like a franchise where I was like, man, when I think it, like I said, like it's the sports, and then like The Sims. That's what I think of when I think of EA. Like my sister was like obsessed with The Sims. But like from a business standpoint, I would have to say it makes more sense to kind of go to EA route, only because I feel like, I mean, they definitely have a higher stock price, and I mean part of that's also because of the recent stuff going on with Blizzard, Activision. But I think even before that, I mean, EA's always had a higher stock price. I think revenue wise, they're very similar, but I think Activision Blizzard is just slightly higher revenue wise. But I mean, it's so marginally different that I mean, EA is just kind of like been in a better spot for years. So it's kind of like the safer bet to work at. So,
That is a very interesting statement, my friend.
yeah, and I mean they've been around since the '80s, I think. EA.
Back then I was doing mushrooms and that.
Yep. All right. Anyways, guys, this is the end of the show. This is the Digital Cypha Podcast. You were listening to Ebonics, the Don CJG, and Dio Zales. We are here every Saturday, 10 a.m.
Yeah, just a couple island boys.
Or I'm gonna get this wrong because it's my mind. 5 p.m. Is that right?
For 3 p.m.
3. I had
Three.
two numbers, 3 or 5. I keep choosing the latter. 3 p.m.
You choose 5 and it's always wrong.
UK. I know, right? So, thank you guys for visiting. Please like and subscribe. It helps us out. We're trying to grow. And any suggestions, comments, concerns, just send it, and we'll read it, and we'll make adjustments if needed. Definitely. So until then, guys, we'll see you next week Saturday. Peace.
Thanks, guys.